So right here, you want to make sure that you're sifting through your beans. Make sure that there's no rocks or any weird looking material in there. Make sure that you're cleaning your beans. Please do not just dump the whole bag of beans into the pot and start boiling, because you will have some nasty stuff. I'm just making sure that any dirt or debris that it may have grown in, that I'm just getting it off of there before I throw it in the pot to boil. So here you're gonna see me just rinsing the pot, adding the beans, and I'm gonna be going in with some garlic, cloves, and start to boil. Right here, I'm just gonna be breaking open some garlic cloves, and I'm gonna add a few, 3 or 4 to the pot to boil with the beans. And voila, here are the beans in the pot, getting ready to boil. So here is my meat of choice. I'm going to be making some turkey necks. I'm about to clean them now. Here I'm just rinsing the turkey necks before I dig in and deep clean them. Here I'm pouring out the excess water. I'm gonna cut up lemon and lime to scrub the meat with, and I'll add some vinegar. Here I'm just pouring out the excess vinegar and lime juice that I used to scrub with the meat with. I'm going to bring over a pot of boiling water so that the meat can soak and steep in it for a little bit, and then I'm going to season after. Once you've used the boiling water, the meat will look this way. Turns a grayish color. The purpose of sterilizing the meat with boiling water and as well washing with vinegar, lemon, and lime is just to cause the meat to not be gamey. In other words, it won't taste like the animal that you just cooked. It'll give you the opportunity to be able to taste your food in the way that you prepared it, with the seasonings and all the time and effort that you put into it. And it's just good to do. All right, so I am ready to start seasoning. Right now, I'm patting dry the meat to make sure that any excess water is gone so that all seasoning can stick and actually seep into the meat. I am going to use the olive oil to coat the meat as like a binder, and then I'll be using that chicken bouillon in the bag and the sazon packets along with the ippies, which is just a green seasoning that, just a few aromatics that you mix together and you season and marinate your meat with. After this, I'll be ready to start cooking. So here is pretty self-explanatory. I'm just massaging the seasoning and oil all together combined with the meat and just prepping it for cooking. Okay, so here I am just adding the meat that I've seasoned and marinated for a couple minutes into the pot with some olive oil that's already been preheated for a little while. This is going to give the meat a little bit of color, and it's also going to give it its first little sear before I start boiling it to make it tender. Y'all, this dish is gonna take some time, just FYI. Here I am poking holes into a Scotch bonnet pepper with just some cloves, and I'll add that to the pot in just a moment here. Just adding some water to the bowl to take the excess seasoning out to add back to the pot with the meat. And now I'm adding the water. And here's how the meat's looking. I've got all my water, added my Scotch bonnet, and now some thyme. I'm just gonna wait for it to boil and get tender. Here the beans are done. It's time to drain them and start making the rice. Here I am just separating the water from the beans. So I'm straining them, and I'm gonna save the water for later because I will be using it to add back to the rice for the color. Here I'm adding avocado oil to the pot to heat up. Once the avocado oil is hot enough, you will add a few scoops of ippies, the green seasoning, and let it burn a little bit in the oil. Along with the ippies, you will add some chicken bouillon seasoning and the beans by themselves back in the pot to fry a little bit. Now you'll add coconut milk and mix everything until well combined. Let it simmer for a little bit, and then we'll add the water and rice. While the beans and coconut milk are simmering, I am going to wash the rice to prepare to start cooking. And this is the water that came from the beans. I don't want to dump all the water in at once. I am using a cup measure to make sure I know how much rice to use. Using one handful of rice at a time, I'm putting all the rice in one spot to make sure that I have the correct amount of rice. Once I've created what I would like to call a heap of rice in the middle of the pan, I like to use my spoon to place it in the middle of the rice to see if the spoon will stand straight up. If that happens, I'm good to go. Now I'll start stirring the rice and we'll begin to cook. Cover with aluminum foil, wait for 30 minutes on low heat. And here I'm just adding aluminum foil to the pot with rice. I did lose a clip of me taking the turkey necks out of the sauce and pan searing it in oil. I did do that and then add it right back to the pot with the sauce. Now this pan searing will cause the turkey necks to be crispy on the outside and add more flavor. And just like that, everything is done. It's time to eat. I've also added to the pot with my turkey necks some peppers and onions, and you just serve on the bed of rice with a nice cold drink.